Okay, basically the middle section of If You Could Read My Mind, we talked about the lyrics earlier, we can talk about, is in order to keep the flow of the middle section of If You Could Read My Mind going, in order to keep the ball up in the air all the way through for the argument that's going on with the words, the thing he's presenting, harmonically, the relationship between the vocal line that he's singing and the chord progression on the guitar is it's quite astonishing in that the home note, the do of the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do of that scale, the do, that one, which is, say I'm doing it in A, that's it. He never plays that note, and this chord, the home chord, until the last note of the whole section. So watch this. So you'll find that while he's actually doing "They Walk Away," so he's using the flat and seventh versus the flat and seventh there. And he goes like a movie star. Now he's hitting the A, which is the home note there, in the vocals, but the guitar is in D. So he's moved away from that. Who gets burned in a three-way script? And he's done it again. He's brought in a relative minor there, but it's still the A in the vocals. And then he goes enter number 2. And he's back in the home key on the guitar, but the vocal line has gone down to the E, like that. And he goes, and then watch this, and now he's really pushing it. Now this is where it's incredible, because he does this, right, watch this, and he's really pushing it, because he just keeps doing this wonderful chord formation there. A movie queen to play the scene. Walk away like a movie star, cause bound in a three-way script. Enter number 2, and here we go, watch it. A movie queen to play the scene, of bringing all the good things out in me. But for now, love, let's be real. And again, he's not in the whole, he's gone off it in the, he's gone off the thing in the vocal line. He's back on A, and he goes, never thought I could act this way. And he's pushing on it, onto the E. And he's doing this chord progression here that keeps avoiding being the home key on there. At the same time, he's stressing all the time in the vocals. So he goes, never thought I could feel this way, and I got to say, and then he goes, that I just can't get it back. And then on the last note, the home note in the vocals, the home key. So it's basically, it's like just keeping the balls up in the air all the time in this progression. So what you get is one of the most fabulous pieces of lyric writing ever. Whether, as I say, with the first half of that section is very high rhetoric, and the second half is almost like prose you could say to somebody, and it doesn't rhyme at the end of it at that moment in time. It gets rhymed later on, but it doesn't rhyme at that moment in time. So you get this incredible piece of writing, and it's set in the song in a way that is just incredible. How much? And the question you've always got to ask yourself, it's a bit like the kind of the watchmaker thing, intelligent design thing. At one point or another, he thought about that, but how much he thought about it, who knows? You look at it, and it's so intricately done that on one hand, it's so intricately done that you can't imagine that somebody didn't sit down and do every single detail of it, because it's so beautifully made. On the other hand, it's so wonderfully perfect that you can't imagine that anybody could have thought about it, could have actually constructed it in that way. So you get, and I actually think it's a perfect example of what happens with writing songs, and actually what happens with any creative process. It doesn't really matter what it is. Half of it's made, half of it's given. There's this thing that happens, you reach out, it reaches back. You know what I mean? Whether or not, if Gordon Lightfoot was interviewed, he'd probably say, I thought about every word, but I didn't think of it in at all, I just did it. You know, like Dylan, when people ask me, what that's, when somebody asked him about a song, what it meant, I said, they asked what it's about, and he said, oh, it's about 4 minutes. You know? So, and it's always very difficult to tell how much work is actually going in consciously, or whether you're actually just consciously aware of something evolving and happening, and you help to move it where it should be. Who knows? But have a look at that middle section. It's just, as I say, the three things: the lyric, the guitar part, the vocals, absolute killer.